Hi traders, this is Blake Morrow. You are listening to the Morning Edge webinar. I want to welcome you all. And let me grab my bias chart here. And let's see here. I'm gonna getting on with the euro. So let's take a look at the euro dollar. This damn Kiwi is just freaking thorn in my side today. I tell you, what a pain in the arse. Okay, so the euro, I've been real hesitant down here to play the euro on the short side. Although yesterday we were up near these current prices and we started to sell off. I would rather, if I'm going to be on the short side of the euro dollar, I'm going to take a cue from yesterday and just say how I'd rather just be on the short side of this 112, 112.15. Any move above 112, I think would be a great opportunity to be short. But you have to get up there. I mean, yesterday we couldn't manage it. I mean, we were trying to make our way higher, and then we had some good U.S. data, and the damn thing slumped. So, today same thing. If we can get up towards 112.15. I think that's going to be a good place to be on the short side. The flip side of that is if you're, not somebody who believes that the dollar is going to continue to strengthen, if you want to be on the long side of the euro dollar, playing the long side down here at 111 is the place, in my opinion, to do it. All right. While we're sitting at current prices, I'm just trying to make an adjustment here. Well, we're sitting at these current prices in the euro. It's kind of like you're in the middle of the range. It's like there's not a whole lot to do with it here. Again, buying it down at 111 or selling it above 112, that makes sense. We're at 111.60. What kind of risk reward do you have on either side of the market at this point? Not a lot. So I think, again, you need to just, if you're going to play long, play counter trend down at 111. If you want to be short, short it up at resistance. I think this is major support, by the way, at 111. I really do. I think it's major. All right, we are still in a bearish trend. Still in a bearish trend. And really, I think I might have even put it in a range yesterday, but I'm going to keep it in a bearish trend as long as we stay below this 112.15. If we can get above 112.15, I'm going to put it in a range environment. But right now, though, still in a bearish trend. The pound's a disaster. I look at this. I look at the cable, and the trading the pound dollar right now just seems like there's so many better things to do. I wasn't around when that poll came out yesterday. Well, I was, but I was training with one of our wise traders yesterday, so I didn't get a chance. Excuse me, I didn't get a chance to short the pound. But man, that thing fell out of bed. Just right after that poll. We have this other poll which is driven us lower here, but we're also approaching a lot of support, and so again, I'm not really too sure what to do with the cable at this point. I think that any rally up towards 145 is obviously going to find resistance. You can see this just on an hourly, right through here, really big resistance. We may be flagging at this point, so if you look at it as a flag, that looks like this, that means that flag's pointing us down towards support, down towards this 143.40 level, which to me seems actually pretty logical. I could see the pound continuing to fall, break through this support right through here, just enough to trip stops on everybody, through this support here. You can see it here. Let's get rid of that. I don't even know what that's from. Just enough right here just to trip some stops through this support, and then tags this support over here at 143. I'm going to write down support as being 143, whatever this low is. 143.30. I mean, that's the next level support, really. 143.30. Resistance at 145 is definitely a range, and it's a very, very choppy trading environment for the cable right now. Really is. Um, okay, let's look at the Swissy. So the Swissy has been under some pressure, and you know, the Swissy broke through 99 cents. Okay, and it, to me, you know, if we can break this 98, what we write down yesterday, 98.70, this may happen. I'm going to just move this over a little bit. Okay, if we can break 98.70, but 98.70, or is it 75? What's that low? 98.70. 98.70 is support. Okay. Oh, whoops. That's not for the yen. It's for the Swissy. 98.70. Pretty key support there for the Swissy. Resistance. At 99.50. Okay. And, you know, what I'm hoping for, you know, is I'm hoping for a break below support so it can dip to 98 cents to get long. But the dollar Swiss, very much a range environment. You got to be, you know, generally speaking, pretty careful here. All right, let's go over to the yen. Now the yen, you know, just buckled like a, you know, just like a cheap suit, just totally came under pressure. Now, I was actually looking at it, and I know I was talking about it a little bit earlier with you guys, but I'm going to say it again. I was looking for the dollar yen as being a possible long candidate. You know, I was looking at it thinking, okay, you know, I'd like to be long the dollar yen at some point. But what I was looking for, and the key or the real indication for me to be long the dollar yen, which obviously hasn't happened, would be the stock market coming under pressure and the dollar yen not falling. That has not happened. You know, the stock market came under pressure overnight. The dollar yen fell, and you know that correlation between weak stocks, strong yen is still there, and it's still, you know, existent. And what I'm looking for in order to buy the dollar yen is for that correlation to really start breaking. Obviously, that's not happening now. So how, you know, what we do with the dollar yen at this point, well, in my opinion, is it really puts at risk a lot of the, you know, anybody who's on the long side of the dollar yen is probably feeling a little nervous at this point. We have a 38% retracement right where we're at. So this spike low, which comes in at 109.10, that's major support today. Okay, major. 109.10. It's major support. All right, if that breaks, that's going to usher in a lot of dollar weakness in my view. All right, so keep a very close eye on the dollar yen today. All right, now any rally, I'm assuming now any rally back up towards 110, you're going to find some sellers because you got people that are long up here that are probably feeling, oh man, you know, if we can just get a rally back to 110, I'd be happy to part ways with my long position. So again, that I think is where resistance is going to come into play, is at 110. It's just a nice round number on any rally. Okay, we are in a range with the dollar yen. All right, let's take a look at this dollar Canadian. So the dollar Canadian, it's actually not rallying as well as it should based on as weak as crude oil is. Now, I personally think that crude oil is coming down to 47, 70 or so. That's a 38% retracement. So that's where I think crude. That's where I think crude is going, and I'm going to if crude gets down there, I'm probably going to sell some of my dollar Canadian because I'm a little worried that the dollar Canadian hasn't really followed through to the upside here, right? Um, I'm surprised that with crude as weak as it has been, that we're not trading closer to 132. So dips to 130 are going to be supported, I'm assuming, with the Canadian. So I'm going to write that down. Okay, round number, probably going to be very well supported today. Now resistance. Resistance will be yesterday's highs, which happened to be a 786 retracement. So that's 131, basically 131.30. That's resistance today. Okay. And we are in a range with the dollar Canadian as well. All right, let's take a look at this stupid Kiwi dollar. Now the Kiwi, is up against channel resistance here, right where we're at. And I shorted it last night when it was above 68 cents. I shorted at 67.92. I'm still short, so I'm down. I'm down like 20 pips right now. I'm sitting in it, and I'm surprised at how strong this Kiwi dollar is. It really is extremely strong. It's like it's got silly strength at the moment. This previous support should offer some resistance, but that's really close to where we're at. 68.20. I'm gonna see if we have any fib extensions here. Yeah, 161% fib extension comes in at 68.20. I mean, that's basically some resistance here. So 820. But beyond that, let's just imagine we go beyond that. That could take us all the way back up towards, all these spike highs up here, which is 68, roughly 68.50. And I have to make the assumption that we get up there because, it's just been, the Kiwi's been really strong, right? I mean, it's been unbelievably strong. Crude's starting to roll over again. All right, so anyway, that's resistance in the Kiwi. Support. Moves back down to 67.70 will probably be very well supported. You can see, let me show you. There's an hourly spike from overnight there. Right there. Okay. So that comes in at 67.70. That should offer pretty good support today. That should be good support. I know I've had us in a bearish trend, but I'm gonna put us in a range because this thing has been, it's been resiliently holding up. All right, it really has. I mean, the Kiwi has, as frustrating as it's been, it is holding up really well. All right. Okay, let's go over to the Aussie. Now the Aussie, strong Australian data overnight. The stupid thing, rallies and then gives up all these gains, which I was surprised with. It was very surprising to me that it did that, and especially in the face of the equity markets have come under a lot of pressure. This Australian dollar, it really has held up very well. Okay, so it looks like support will be these spike lows. This stupid Kiwi spiking into highs. New highs Kiwi. Right into resistance. Right now. Wow, this dollar's getting worked right now. Euro new highs. See, this euro, again, better short is going to be up here at 116. Excuse me, 116, 112.15. Okay, going back over to the Aussie. The Kiwi's right up against resistance. The Aussie, obviously, the overnight resistance, for whatever reason, stopped us right there. So I need to figure out why that happened. See if there's any significance to that. Well, that would be why. 161% extension came in at 73 cents. Okay. Support will be the lows that we just posted at 72.50. Okay. And we're going to be in a range with this Aussie too. Okay. So anyway, there's the Aussie. It's holding up pretty well. I'm still surprised and kind of stunned looking at the Aussie yesterday, thinking, why the hell did this thing, come off so aggressively overnight? I still haven't been able to put that one together. Other than, futures have been coming down, obviously. Okay, so where are we at? Okay, yeah, we've gotten pretty far this morning. All right, let's take a look at the dollar index. All right, so here's the dollar index, and the dollar index, we came out of this channel, so any retest of this trend line is going to be very well supported. That'll be 95. Let's give it about 95 and a quarter. Okay, will be support. So it's going to be right through here. $95 and a quarter should be good support. All right. Euro's hitting new highs. Swedish krona new lows. Dollar Canadian's coming off. That's what I thought. That the dollar Canadian just hasn't been performing well. Kiwis at highs. Dollar Swiss new lows. Okay. Let me write that down. I have to write this down on the bias chart. So 95.25, 95.25, and resistance being 96, and that's key resistance. And I'm hesitant to put us anything but range at this point. I'm gonna keep us at range for now. All right, when I come back, we will continue on with the peso, the Nordic currencies, and then I'll take some of your questions. So don't go anywhere. Be right back. All right, guys and gals, this is Blake Morrow. You were listening to the Morning Edge webinar, and the dollar continues to get hit here. We've got the euro dollar that's pushing towards 112. The Kiwi is breaking into new highs. The Aussie dollar is trying to make its way higher, and the pound is just languishing. The pound just can't move at all. Dollar Swiss hit new lows. Dollar Canadian's at lows in the day. So the dollar's, coming under some pressure here, some pretty formidable pressure. Let's see if the euro dollar can spike up towards 112. I think the euro has the capabilities today to make it up to 112. I was trying to figure out why the Kiwi dollar is gaining so much strength. I think a lot of it has to do with this. Pound New Zealand, there's been a lot of people long the Pound New Zealand. We have just hit 127% extension. Now, I'm not one that wants to really get long the pound Kiwi, but if it's going to bounce, it's probably going to bounce somewhere around here. Just we're extremely oversold. I might actually pick it up just for a little trade here. I'm not going to stick around long. I just bought some. Keep my stop pretty tight. Okay, so I put in my stop a little bit lower, but I just picked up a little Pound New Zealand because we're look at the hourly chart and the Pound New Zealand, how oversold it is. So I think a lot of people were long the Pound New Zealand, playing this inverted head and shoulder pattern, and I think a lot of that is just the Kiwis just been rallying, squeezing out a lot of these near term longs. So I think I'd play the other side of it now that it's getting pretty oversold. We might drop down to 15 or so, like 211.15, but should be some support down here. Anyway, back over to our analysis. So let's get over to the peso. So the U.S. dollar Mexican peso has been pretty strong overnight, but we're once again in a, this is just a major resistance here. So I'm going to write down 1830 to 1860 once again. Nothing's changed. Let's take the USD Mexican peso. 1830 key support. 1860 key resistance. We are in a range right now. Okay, let's go over to the Norwegian krona. Okay, here's the Norwegian krona. So the Norwegian krona, it's coming under a little bit of pressure. That's basically due to I think out of Norway we had current account. Yeah, current account came in a little stronger than expected, but really I think it's more of just the dollar, has been getting hit. So, you got crude oil that's weak, but the dollar's getting hit, so it's getting torn in two different directions. We should have some support at 830 on the U.S. dollar Norwegian krona. So let's write that down. That's trendline support, so it is pretty good support. 8.3000. Resistance be all the way up here. Again, any move towards 840. Let me remove that. I'm going to remove this too. Remove that. Resistance is really key at 840. This is still bullish. We're still moving higher. We still have that inverted head and shoulder pattern, and it still looks Good. Obviously we're coming into some support, but it's still pretty bullish here. Okay, let's go to the US dollar Swedish krona. Now, US dollar Swedish krona was under some pressure, but man, this thing's not really moving that much either. Um, Support's still going to be down here at 826, resistance at 838. And we're pretty much in the middle of our range now. We saw the reversal a couple weeks ago. We're back in the middle of the range. I think we need to keep it in a range environment like everything else, like most everything else. And there's your bias chart for now. Okay, and we'll just keep it like that. All right, come on, pound New Zealand, bounce a little.